we have everybody on the stage. So we're going to go ahead and throw it over to Joel for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your interview translations. We're here with SK Telecom, who picks up a win in this wildcard event against Freaka Freaks. And we're going to be hearing from the entire team, the 5 members who have played today, regarding the games today. So we're going to have an interview with the entire team. Bang, you got the win today in the wildcard. How do you feel? We do have a game coming out right after 3 days. So I think all we're focusing is about the next game that's coming up. It's definitely your first wildcard game ever in your career. Did it feel different coming into this series? It definitely, I do have a different mindset coming into this one. Yeah, in spring we were actually in first place, waiting for all the other teams to really contend with each other to decide who will be facing us in the finals, but it's really the complete opposite. So it's a very interesting event that we get to be in this position. So a lot of pressure is being put on us with our position here. We did get the MVP for Game 1. How did you feel throughout playing that Game 1? We were actually expecting this sort of composition from our opposition, and we saw these players, and once we were observing the data, they had played those kind of specific champions, and especially using that ardent sensor to their benefit. So we figured they might use it this time around, and it was exactly to our expectations. So we were pretty prepared for that composition. And Wolf, weren't you jealous that even the ADC was giving the support, the gold that she needed? Yeah, ever since the Relic Shield came onto the play, I started using Alistar, and I gave Bang all the gold that I earned for myself. But using the Janna, I never thought that even the ADC would go with the Relic Shield and give the support, the gold that the Janna needed. Yeah, definitely. It was an extreme, risky pick by our opposition, so we got a lot of advantages from what they lacked. And it seemed like you weren't a big fan of Blitzcrank, but you ended up with that pick in Game 2. How did you end up with that? Yeah, we prepared that pick, and during our preparation, the results were great. But it's just a champion that I don't like personally, so I try not to use it, but... Yeah, it was a situation when you're talking about the gank, was that first gank, I just positioned myself on the sidelines, and that gave a clear path for me to use my skills. And it was a situation where the opponents did a good job of trying to evade the gank from happening, but in the end, that's our advantages in the end. And also there was a situation where I did the wrong movement and the wrong sidestep that allowed my teammates to get killed, so it wasn't the best moments for me that I want to remember. And there was a situation where we saw you kind of laughing, just laughing really and smiling, a big smile, and we see you in the top of the solo queue ladder right now. Yeah, after losing out on that first gank, these guys must have been feeling pretty bad about the situation, but so they were having a hard time, but it was at the same time, it was kind of funny looking at that situation. Yeah, but I think after getting first place in solo queue, my coach has been definitely on the bias, on the positive bias for me. And it just seemed like the coaching staff was really giving you a lot of orders in the booth. Yeah, it was just very generic comments of telling me to get better and just trying to work hard as I can. And Untaro, it's probably one of your first experiences of the playoffs, but how was it different from the other games? Yeah, I really tried to make myself think that this was just another regular season game. And I tried to not overreact, but act like this was just a scrims that I can play exactly the same way, and that would get me the best results. And we saw Yupina giving a round of applause as Untaro was speaking. Yeah, I was just kind of surprised how a person can change so quickly after getting first place in solo queue. But definitely, we like to see Untaro a little more overconfident than not. And you did garner that MVP in the second set. And it just seemed like the teammates were looking at you as if you didn't deserve that MVP. We all thought that the Cassiopeia would have gotten that MVP. And there was a situation where there was a big mistake, and I feel really bad for that play. But so I felt like if I didn't get it, it would have been definitely Faker who would have gotten that MVP. There you go, Faker shaking his head on the side. Yeah, if I had lost the second game, I would have knelt down on my knees and apologized to my teammates. But I'm really glad that we actually got the win there. And you did get a steal in the Baron on the second set. Yeah, I think with me getting more instances where I did steal the Barons, I think the opposition junglers are feeling the pressure when they play against me, and they always can't have a second mindset of you know, playing against me when trying to go for the Barons. And yeah, this was a situation where by default I shouldn't have gotten that steal, but it was a little bit of luck mixed in with little mistakes from the opponents. Yeah, it's always with Baron steals is that you have to rely on the opponent's mistake to really secure a steal. How do you think about how the game went overall from the beginning to the end? I think this week especially was one of our best week of practice, and we were really satisfied how the results came along in regards to practice, and we just thought that we wanted to transition that over to the actual games today. So we really thought that we had a good chance to win today. We're going to move on to the guy who's shaking his head once he thought that he deserved the MVP. You said someone who deserved the MVP should get the MVP, but I didn't get it, so I'm confused.
So modest, that Faker guy.
And a lot of people did, especially your teammates, talked about the step-by-step into the finals. Yeah, I think if we have to make multiple wins to get to the finals, we can't rely on a 50% win rate to get there. So. He's talking about Faker's math skills, trying to compare Cloud Templar's math skills with that. And Peanuts applauding for Faker's math skills. But I did pick Peanut for the MVP. Yeah, it seems like you like Peanut, you like the jungler players, Cloud Templar. But in the end, you picked up Galio for the first game, which is what we want to go back to. And it just seemed like a staple pick for you, actually, you picking it up for the first pick in the draft. Yeah, Galio was a multi-purpose pick where we knew that Kuro was very talented in that pick. So, you know, taking it away from him and using it for ourselves was a double benefit for our composition. But, you know, with my form not being at its highest, that was a situation where we kind of regretted that we should have went with a different pick, but it was a pick that we were going to go with regardless of the situation. And it just seemed like the item choices were interesting as well. Yeah, it seems like the Abyssal Scepter is a little bit nerfed this patch, and but we still went with a composition-based item, so that's why we went with that item. And with Cassiopeia's, you usually go with a Rod of Ages, but we just went with the Catalyst just to go with the full build that we would eventually get to. And Wolf, are you happy with the interview so far with all the comments made by different players? I think this immature player got a little bit mature today, so that's the one good thing. So I think, yeah, all these players, they're getting a little bit mature, so I'm happy for these guys. So as a representative of SKT Wolf, you have a lot of games still left over to eventually win that finals. Would you like to say anything in regards to your current situation? I think today's games weren't as clean as we wanted it to be, but we are practicing much harder from day by day, and you can expect our performances to go up, you know, with each game that we play. And of course, you know, with us, you know, in this position that we have to take it one step by step, you can imagine how the other fans are worried about, you know, their team facing up against us. But I think our performance will rise as we get advanced and past each round to play. And we think we are done with the interview here, and we'll throw it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel. Well, that's the first step out of the way.